all the guys like her, like your daughter, and because she's learned how to understand men and to love men and to receive from them and to be the girl and let them be the guy and isn't competitive with them, isn't trying to one up them every chance she gets. And so the good news about this is that the more you understand men, ladies, the more men like you, the more captivating you become.
Welcome to the Daniele Hage podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Hage. Danielle is my mother-in-law and Nini to my 3 girls. She has 40 years experience with family and marriage relationships. She's been married to Steve Hage for 43 years. He travels the world preaching the gospel, and together they pastor a church in Laguna Niguel, California. So welcome back today, Danielle.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy you're here. And today we're talking about how to be a captivating woman.
Yes.
So previously we already talked about what makes a man physically attracted to a woman. So we talked about the physical attraction.
Right.
And that was in an episode called 4 Parts of a Woman That a Man is Obsessed With. So you need to go back and you need to watch that one or listen to that one. But today we're talking about what causes a man to become emotionally attracted to a woman. So can you start off just telling us what makes a woman captivating?
Yeah, because a man will be emotionally attracted to a woman he finds captivating.
Yeah.
What is it about women that captivates? Okay. And there's 4 qualities. There's probably lots of things, but I'm going to say these are probably the 4 main ones that I have found. So number 1 is confidence, a woman's confidence. And again, confidence is about just embracing who you are and being okay with yourself, being comfortable in your skin. Confidence isn't a set-in thing. It's something that it's not a personality trait. It's something that we have to practice a lot of times.
Yeah. So how do we build our confidence?
Well, and I'm not confident in every area of my life, right? I mean, I might be confident in cooking.
Yeah.
I'm confident in speaking, publicly, but there's other things where I feel a little insecure in certain areas, because we're not good at everything. But sometimes I wasn't always confident in public speaking. I mean, my first few times ever standing up in front of an audience, a group of people, I mean, I was sweating. I had a stomach ache. I was nauseous.
Yeah.
I think I was nauseous 3 days before I ever stood up.
I think that's most people.
Right. And that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
But the more I did it, the more you have to practice sometimes.
Yeah.
You practice and you do things that you want to do that you're not good at. How do we get there? How do we get good at them? At those things, we practice. We do it over and over and over again.
Right.
And for me, part of my purpose was to speak and to teach. And so I didn't want to be up in front of people, but if I was going to live my purpose, there was something in me that compelled me, that drove me to get better at it. And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. And I remember thinking, I'm going to pretend like I feel very confident in what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I didn't. And so, but I would act confident, and pretty soon it's like, it just came.
Yeah.
And nobody ever knew I was nervous. And people would say, oh my gosh, you seem so confident. And I'd be like, if you only knew what was going on the inside of me, right? But then the more you do something that you want to get good at, again, you get good at it.
Well, I think you said something key too. There was something inside you that propelled you. So it made you want to continue to practice, because there's things I'm not confident in, but I also don't care to be more confident
Exactly.
in. Like for me, it's cooking,
Yeah.
We talked about that many
We've
times.
talked about that.
It's our joke now.
Yes.
The podcast joke. But yeah, so finding that thing, and this probably almost leads into the next thing, or one of the other things we'll talk about is like that passion and purpose. When there's something in you, it's going to make you want to become more confident, and practice it more and elude that confidence. But we've also talked about confidence as one of the qualities of a queen.
Yes.
So if you've been around for a while, you've heard Danielle talk about the qualities of a queen and what it means to be the queen. And if you haven't been around here for a while, please go back and watch some of those as well, because that's it's a huge part of what you talk about, and having that confidence and knowing who you are and being authentic in that.
Yes. Well, and I think, it's okay, because sometimes too much confidence can look arrogant. Like I was talking to a single man the other day, and he said, he's dating online, and he said, some of these women online are like, this is the lifestyle I'm used to, and this is what I'm going to have, and don't even swipe on me if you can't provide this and this. And he said, he goes, it's such a turnoff.
Yeah.
It's a turnoff. And he goes, don't lead with that. And I said, well, that is somebody trying to be so confident that it actually is turning you off because it seems arrogant. And it's okay to say, hey, I feel insecure in this area, and be confident enough to say, I'm weak in this area. This is where I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous being on this first time date
or
talking about myself on, getting to know somebody. It's okay to say that because that's real. That's being vulnerable. That's being authentic.
Yeah, which leads into the second thing that makes a woman captivating to a man is...
Yes. Okay, and let me say this about confidence, because you had asked me a question. I don't know that I answered it. You said, what builds confidence?
Yeah.
You got to do things that you feel good about doing.
Yeah.
What makes you feel confident? It might be putting on makeup that day. It might be... I set a goal to work out 3 times this week and I made my goal. I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
It might be, I am not going to raise my voice today with my kids. And then you actually do it. Or, or you catch yourself getting irritated and you remind yourself, okay, no, today I decided, but when you meet your goals, when you set a goal and you actually do it, those things make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
It could be, reciting who you are in God out loud. Maybe 3 things that I am a child, I am a daughter of the King, the Almighty, or whatever, finding those verses in the Bible that make you, because actually, when you have a God confidence, when you learn who you are in God, that's huge. That really builds your confidence.
Yeah.
So again, to each person, it's unique. It's different because we're all very unique.
Yeah.
So the second thing, authenticity. We're talking about what makes a woman captivating. A woman that can just be who she is. That she's not trying to be what she thinks he wants her to be.
Yeah.
Like it's, again, let's say we're going on a date. Men can pick up on that. Like men find authentic women irresistible.
Yeah.
That's what I have heard from men, that a woman who can just be herself. I remember one couple saying, they were a young married couple, and he told me, I said, I want to meet a girl that isn't afraid to not wear makeup in front of me, that is just so who she is.
Yeah.
And he said he took this girl out, they had worked together, and then he was taking her on a date, and she got in the car with no makeup.
Oh,
and
wow.
and she didn't know. And he was like, oh my God, I think I just fell in love with her. Because she was just so, I just didn't have time. And I just, this and that. And I think she was going to put her makeup on in the car or something.
Yeah.
But he thought it was so cute that she was comfortable enough to be seen in front of him with no makeup.
And it's the confidence with authenticity.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
combined.
vulnerability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good.
So, and in order to be authentic, you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And remember, vulnerability is not being able to predict the outcome of something. Like, I'm going to go ahead and unzip myself and tell you who I am, tell you about me. And I don't know if you're going to like me after you know who I am. And I think when you're vulnerable like that, it quickens grace in the other person. When you're just letting down your hair and saying, you know what, I really suck at this in this area. Or, I'm feel very insecure about myself in this area, or something about my body or whatever. When you're just who you are, I think it makes other people feel like they can be who they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're always around people that are so perfect, then you feel like you have to be perfect. They never have a hair out of place. They're going to judge me if I do, And so I think when I'm around people who are just who they are in front of me, it causes me to just be comfortable and to let down my hair in front of them.
Yes, that's good. That's good. And showing the quirks and just who you are. I mean, I just think it's so sad. We do live in a world, the Instagram world and the highlight reels, that the message we get as women is he'll only be attracted to me if I have the perfect outfit, the perfect shoes, the perfect hairstyle, the perfect,
And because there's so much competition out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you go on social media and there's women on there they're gorgeous, these gorgeous women. And so we think, is that where the standard is? We got to, is that where the bar is set? We watched a movie the other night, Hitch, old movie with Will Smith and
Kevin James.
And we were laughing because, here Will Smith is the dating coach and he's, here's what women want. This is how you have to be. Yeah. And trying to make Kevin James this guy that this rich woman will be attracted to, right? And she ends up falling in love with all of his quirks.
Yeah, because he messes it all up.
He can't dance worth beans, right? And he spills mustard. He's kind of a clod. And those are the things that actually got her to fall in love with him. He's just normal. And then she was able to let her hair down and just be who she was.
Yeah.
And she dances funny too, And I just thought this is so perfect. Whoever wrote this understands men and women.
I think the continuing to renew the authenticity in relationship is ongoing throughout the years as well. It's not just that dating and getting to know somebody and that initial attraction. It's the being authentic and being vulnerable. And I'm in a new season and I just feel uncomfortable about this. Or we've added another kid to the family and now I am a little wobbled. But I think we've talked about this so many times too. Calling it out.
Yes.
Putting it on the table. I don't know how I don't know what he's thinking about this. I'm judging myself so harshly.
Yeah.
So I assume my husband's judging me just as harshly. But just kind of being able to being not self-effacing about it, but just putting it out there. I don't know how he's going to react. And maybe he will say, yeah, you're really stinking it up right now. And that's vulnerable, but also authentic and brings out the conversation to perk back up conversation and connection.
Right. Yeah, I think that's something and I think after marriage and after you've been together, for some years, that you get so comfortable with each other, that maybe sometimes too comfortable where you never put on makeup anymore. You never dress up anymore. You never try to look your best anymore. And I think you have to find the balance. You definitely have to find the balance there. But
that's good. Okay. So we've talked about confidence, authenticity. And the third one, I just started to allude to in that first one. But what's the third thing?
Okay, so being passionate about something.
Yeah.
There's actually been research done that shows when a man is listening to a woman talk about something she's passionate about, it actually releases a well-being hormone within him. And I don't know if it's oxytocin that it releases, can't remember now, but it's like he is kind of in awe of a woman when he's listening to her talk about what she's passionate about. And passion is so important. And I'm not talking about sexual passion. I'm just talking about stuff that is important to you, that you value. It could be as simple as I like to garden, or I like to grow plants, or I have a stamp collection. It doesn't have to be I'm going to solve world hunger. I mean, it might be really big. It might be really big, but it could just be something small too. And whatever it is, it's if you're excited about it and you're talking about it, or even talking about something that really makes you angry and you're passionate about not liking something. For a man to sit there and listen to that excites him. It actually is like a turn on for a man, because if you think about it, when you're talking about what you're passionate about, usually you're happy, you're excited, and men love being around happy women.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So passion can lead to purpose.
Yes.
And again, I'm just taking the stance today as like the mom of children, but especially the mom who went from working full time and having a career, because I did get married and had children a little bit later, and getting wobbled in that a little bit, getting wobbled in that passion and purpose and then again, kind of that media influence, that mom culture. It's like, don't lose yourself. What really is your purpose? What's your purpose now? What are you? And it's like, maybe it is just caring for my children well.
Absolutely.
Putting my home together.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have a girlfriend who has a beautiful home, and she meticulously decorates for each season and puts things together and styles in a way that is, to me, that's her. I mean,
she's
it's
passionate
her
about
passion.
that.
Yes. But it comes out and it does feel so authentic, and you feel so loved. And I know even her husband has said that, like walking into her home, he feels well cared for because of how passionate she is about each corner, each nook, each cranny, how it all flows together, how things are organized and clean and all of that. I think finding that, I know I've had to rediscover, maybe dig up old wells, or even discover new things that make me passionate and drive some purpose in every season.
Yeah.
But I also know the difference with Christian and my relationship, when I'm not really on fire and not passionate about everything for a season, it's kind of like, okay, all right, what you got going on right now? Because you seem a little over clinging on what I've got going on. This, from Christian's perspective, like I need you to
have your own thing.
Have your own thing. Yeah. But when I am, and now I'm in a season of homeschooling where I love it. That's my passion. I love talking about it. I love researching it. I love, being able to provide that. And when we get to coffee and he's asking me about what we're doing with the kids and what curriculum, I mean, I'm passionate about it. And he just, he loves those moments. So finding that.
And I remember when you guys first got married, you were never going to homeschool. You were never going to be a stay-at-home mom. No, you were a career woman.
Yeah.
And this is what you saw for yourself.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it's so cute that how things have morphed into now you're actually homeschooling. Yeah. And you love it.
And that took a lot of vulnerability and realization and authenticity too. And those moments of like, I don't know. I just
not feeling very confident.
Yeah, not feeling confident at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can do that because I've always known this.
Right. I know another couple where, I'll just tell you, it was actually my daughter. And so her and her husband, she had said, when I'm married and I have kids, they both worked, but she said, I want to be able to stay home with my kids. I don't want them in daycare. I don't want a nanny. Yeah. I want to raise my kids. And he said, okay. And they agreed to that. Yeah. So he's, working full time. And after, I don't know if it was the first kid or the second kid, but he would come home and the house would be a disaster. And at one point, and I remember my husband and I even going over to my daughter's house, and my husband said, you need to get over there and help her. Oh my gosh, her house, it's a mess. And her husband came home once and he said, okay, we agreed that you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, but I can't come home to this this because it's not peaceful. Yeah. Everything looks chaotic, and he could not come home and be at peace because the house was such a mess. And it was just, it was in those childbearing years, where she just couldn't stay on top of it, and she got it together. I mean, she definitely got it together. And when he said that, her husband, she was like, yeah, this is my job. Yeah. I need to keep it together, and I need to provide a place of peace for when he walks in the door. Yeah. And she did get it together. And I remember coming over later on, year later, months later or whatever, and saying, everything is so in order and so clean. What happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, well, that's my job. That's my job. And I'm on top of it now.
It's building that confidence because it's not something you've done before. And, Christian kind of in a different realm would say the same thing. Like he would walk in the door and be like, oh, the children beat you again today. Like you're letting them win. They won again today. And he hated coming home to a beat down wife.
Right.
And again, not being able to give out of my overflow and have time for him. Or
you didn't have any overflow.
So, and we all go through those seasons. But again, it's building up that confidence and building up that relationship of I can do this and taking pride in it, finding the passion and taking the pride in it, even when nobody's going to see it. Right. It's not Instagram worthy and I'm not going to get accolades for it, but knowing that my family is happy, peaceful, well taken care of, that continues to drive my passion and purpose for this season.
Yeah. And that is a great passion. Being a teacher to your kids, raising kids, even if you're not homeschooling.
Kids,
I was passionate about being there for my kids. I did not want to take a full-time job when my kids were little. And I felt good about that decision. Yeah. I felt confident about being, that kind of mom to them.
But you'd be amazed how many moms do need that permission. I read something the other day that one of the biggest struggles moms have right now is feeling the tension between being present and being productive. Yeah. So like when we're being present, fully present with our children, we have this guilt that we're not being productive in another area, whatever it is, productive in making money, productive in getting the house chores done, whatever it is. But then when we are being productive, then we feel this tug of like, I'm not being present. I'm going to lose these years. It goes so fast. Yeah. So it is that inner struggle. Right. But I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with mom who need that permission to just be. And honestly, I use the example of even you in this season, it's like you have been without children in your home for a while. Mm-hmm. I know you've had some adult children here and there in your home, but you've been without raising empty children nested, for a while. And you have had a terrific career that has started after those childbearing years, after the children have left your home and living a full life and living an amazing life. So it's not that we can't have it all. It's that we can't have it all right now
right
in
at
the
the same
exact
time.
season. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're probably going down kind of a little bit of a rabbit trail because we've talked about three things. Okay. Yeah, three things that makes men emotionally attracted to women.
Yes.
So we have one more thing.
Yeah.
Let's take a second and talk about Strong Cell. You have been taking it for about a year now,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us the benefits and what you're feeling from taking Strong Cell.
Yeah. No, I love it. I don't miss one day. Yeah. Not one day. Number one, it tastes good. So easy to drink. Yeah. And I take it in the morning. The minute I get up, before I leave the house, I take my Strong Cell with my supplements. And what I have noticed is I have endless energy. I am not kidding. And the reason I say that is because I'm 62 and I work out hard. I like being active. Like my day consists pretty much, here's my schedule. I get up, I'm in the gym at 6 a.m. I'll do 30 minutes cardio, 30 minutes weights. Then I go right from there, play an hour and a half of pickleball. And then a lot of times, not every day, but a lot of times I go right from there and go back to the gym and swim at least 50 laps. Then I come home and have my first cup of coffee and I feel great. The other day, I did all three of those things. Then I sat in my office for 6 hours straight until my hunger pang, broke through my focus and said, I'm hungry. I need to eat. I don't know if it suppresses your appetite at all, but I just know that I don't feel like I have to eat as much as often. I've seen a difference in my hair. I've seen a difference in my skin. And not just me, but people ask me all the time. They say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Your skin looks great, or your hair. They'll make comments. And I always say, you know what? I'm taking a supplement called Strong Cell. It works at a cellular level. And it's doing all kinds of good stuff in my body. Yeah. Try it.
Yeah. And because it's a cellular energy boost, it's not like a pre-workout. Right. You don't get the zing or that quick energy jump. Mm-hmm. But it's building up all the good stuff, the ATP and all that energy in your cells. Right. So trying it for at least 4 weeks to see a difference, to make a difference, because it's going to elevate you over that time. You want to build it up and then you want to sustain those energy levels. I've been taking it too. And I've noticed that when I take it, again, it's not like a pre-workout where I immediately get that jump, but I all of a sudden have like a focused and clarity. I'm able to really just zoom in to my day and be super focused, especially homeschooling my 3 girls. I can just laser right in. And then the other thing I noticed was, mommy brain fog is real and I don't have that anymore. Yeah. I'm able to be more focused. I have more clarity and I'm able to get through the afternoon without that mental fog slump. So I am really loving Strong Cell too.
And so because of that, we have decided to partner with Strong Cell. And Strong Cell has actually given us a discount code for all the viewers that watch our podcast.
Yay.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes. So go to strongcell.com/Dani. That's strongcell.com/DANI and use the discount code for 20% off. That's Dani20 as your discount code, DANI20. And make sure you check it out. Get 4-week supplement and let us know how you like it. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the 3 things of what makes a man emotionally attracted to a woman, what makes her captivating. So go ahead and tell us, what's the 4th thing?
Okay, so the 4th thing would be receptivity. Okay, and I know we've hit on this before, but this is so important because there's 2 types of receptivity, and men cannot live without either of them. Okay, so the first one is a woman that is open and responsive to all the ways that a man cares for her. That's huge. Being open, appreciating what he does for her. Healthy men, and I want to say this, that I am talking about normal, healthy men. Okay, I'm not talking, everything I say is not going to apply to toxic people. Okay. It's not going to apply if you're married to a narcissist. Yeah. I mean, it won't, because it's like they don't follow the rules.
Yeah. That's a different podcast.
Exactly. So I'm just talking about normal, pretty healthy people. We all got our stuff. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our issues. I'm not talking about perfect people, but I'm just talking about, in general.
People who are still committed to one another. Yes. And they're trying to make their relationship better. Better today than it was yesterday.
So being able to receive his gifts, the gift of his presence and being there. Okay. When he listens to you, thanking him for, thanks for just listening and not trying to fix me, receiving his gestures, pulling your chair out, opening your car door. In the culture that we live in today, women we've been taught by the feminists not to need men, that we can do everything ourselves. And men are feeling this. Like men want to contribute. They want to provide for us. But women, it's like that we put our hand up. Nope, I don't need that. I don't deserve it. I can do it myself. I can get it myself. And I think the feminists have taught that. But I know for me, I like being treated like a woman.
Yeah.
I like men that are very respectful and that will lead and guide and open and shut, and pick up heavy things for me. I think it's wonderful to be treated like a lady.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those women that want to do it all by myself. Even though I could, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to have a partner. I want to have a companion.
Yeah. So, it almost seems like an epidemic how even just reading online and some of the comments that you get of how men really do feel like they've been shut out.
Yes.
And I know more women. And I know more women like you and me who love our men and appreciate our men and love strong men, but that's not what's being sold either to men. Men are being left out.
And because there's some men that are dangerous or toxic, it's not all men. There's really great men out there. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yes, there is toxic masculinity, but there's also very healthy and godly masculinity too, So we've got to, again, not make all men bad. And I actually found a study that said that there's only between 3 and 5% of men that are actually dangerous. In generally speaking, men are great. Men are awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So being able to receive from them, the second type of receptivity that they need, that is even harder for women to provide for men today, is just accepting them as men, rather than trying to change them and train them and teach them and counsel them and mother them and change them into being more like women and domesticate them. Just accepting their manhood, them being men, and again, not trying to change them. I know my other daughter, the man that she married, because he was that kind of guy that he had a lot of different girlfriends, and he was kind of that bad boy type of guy, and he was never going to settle down and get married, and he wanted his freedom. And I remember asking him one time, so what was it about Courtney? What was it about her that, because he was very captivated by her.
Yeah.
And she was different from any other girl he had ever dated. And I said, what was it? He goes, she just accepted me.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to change me.
Yeah.
She lets me be who I am. And I just thought it was just so simple. Just that. And I thought, isn't that something? I just thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
And of course, she's had this teaching for a lot of years.
We were talking about it around the table the other night. Steve was in town, your husband, and we were sitting around the table and we were talking about, one, what it does for a man's testosterone when he does get that wild adventure. And I wouldn't say wild. I'm not talking about like in a sexual way, but like, going out for adventure, whatever the dangerous thing is, probably what attracted us women to the men.
Yeah.
But then we get married and we want everything to be safe.
Yes.
We don't want them to be adventurous anymore.
Right.
We don't want them to be dangerous anymore. We don't want them to go off in the woods.
Right. We don't want them to get hurt, because that would be better for us if they don't get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
After you get married, it's like for women, they start to monitor how he is going to protect and provide for us and for the family. So we want him to stay safe because we're scared.
We feel safer.
We'll feel safe if he is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my daughter's married to a firefighter, and another woman the other day was telling her, I overheard them talking, and she said, I don't think I could ever be married to somebody that is like a firefighter or a policeman, because I'd always be worrying about them. If they don't, are they okay? Are they out at night? And they are out at night. And my daughter, she's just like, I don't worry about that at all. It's like, I believe that God will protect and provide ultimately and take care of him and take care of me. Yeah. And I thought that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be up all night worried about your man? Her husband doesn't work a safe job.
Yeah.
His life is at stake every time he goes on a fire.
But what keeps him captivated to her, because she is supportive in that. She's not trying to nag him into a different career.
Exactly.
Wasn't that something good for your 20s? Now we got to move into something different in our more middle years. She's not trying to change him. Yeah. She is receiving what he has to provide and what he has to offer. So that's so good.
So I think for women, just being receptive and responsive, knowing and understanding that there are differences. Men are different than women. They're not defective. It doesn't make them wrong or bad. It doesn't make us wrong or bad because we're different than them. It's just that accepting who God made you to be, how he designed a man, how he designed a woman. He designed us to fit perfectly together.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
But we have to.
Which means opposite.
Accept.
Yeah.
Opposite. Exactly. Yes. Opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're like magnets, right? When women understand men and applaud men and promote men, a lot of times other women don't like that. They feel like you're betraying the sisterhood. Like, wait, what? Like, no, men are annoying and men are stinky and men are, men are, but I find that women that really understand men and let them be who they are, that all men like those kind of women. Mm-hmm. All men like them. I know one young girl said to one of my daughters when they were, in college, she said, the guys that can't stand me love you. Why is that? And because my daughter's had this teaching for so many years growing up through high school. And she just lets guys be guys, and she doesn't get offended easily. And that girl said, I want what you have. And so that girl started coming to my seminars because she was like, all the guys like her, like your daughter. And because she's learned how to understand men and to love men and to receive from them and to be the girl and let them be the guy and isn't competitive with them, isn't trying to, one up them every chance she gets. Yeah. And so, so the good news about this is that the more you understand men, ladies, the more men like you. Yeah. The more captivating you become, the more confident you become in who you are, not arrogant, okay, not snobby, but just confident. Even in your insecurities, even with embracing your flaws, the more authentic and vulnerable you choose to be, because that's a choice. You have to choose that. The more you are passionate about whatever it is that is a value to you, that you like, the more receptive you are to allowing men to give to you and to provide for you and to help you. And that all of those things make you a captivating woman that some man will fall in love with. Now, if he's only captivated by you, okay, if he's only emotionally attracted to you, he'll adore you. He'll think you're great. Yeah. He's got to be both sexually attracted to you and emotionally attracted to you to actually want to commit to you. Yeah. If he's only sexually attracted, he really just wants to have sex with you. Okay. But that's why you got to figure out, is this guy just sexually attracted or is he also captivated by me? Yeah. And so when you are being who you are, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to sense the difference because a man who is captivated by you, he is going to want to do things for you.
Be with you.
He's going to want to spend time with you. He's going to want to spend every second with you. Yeah. Aside from work, he's going to want to be with you. He's going to call you, talk to you, listen to you. He wants to make your dreams come true. He wants you to be happy, and he'll go out of his way to make you happier.
That's good. So good. A lot of great information today, and just so real and so authentic. And so I'm captivated by the information in this podcast today. Thanks for listening. And please make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell so you know when a new episode comes your way. Make sure you leave us a comment below and follow Daniele on Instagram and Facebook.